Another day in the books in my gig working journey. Welcome back to the channel, everyone. I'm Joe, the 50-something Dasher, covering my gig work for Monday, August the 4th, 2025. Had a better day than yesterday. It couldn't have got worse. But physically, though, I didn't feel good today. So I stopped a little bit early. Still came pretty close to goal. So started off right off the bat at 6:02 in the morning with a $25 order. Okay, let's get a good jump on this dash right off the bat. $25, 15 miles. Here's the list. Pretty straightforward, standard. Didn't have any problems with that. Had this shopped in 12 minutes. And then first drop off at 6:45 and then 6:52. So 50 minutes, 25 bucks. Great. And let's see on this. Yeah, I got one of the tips right here actually. I think. Yeah, here it is. There you go. There's one of my tips right there. Thank you very much. Appreciate it. And then also a $10 tip. $14 from DoorDash. Okay, and then 7 minutes later, like I'm coming back to zone. I'm not back in zone yet. And I went ahead and took this because the customer's real close to the sheets. Most of the mileage is just getting to that sheets. I was okay with this order, and had that delivered in 17 minutes. $2 and a $3.50 tip. Okay, then and I took this as well. It looks, I know it looks raunchy. You see my position. I had just dropped that sheets order off. I'm just outside of zone, and $13, 13 miles, but basically the pickup and drop off is all in zone. I'm basically with this order, I'm just kind of like circling around my zone. And I'm okay with that. And this was mostly like, well, to get to the pickup, that was all interstate. That was like 100% interstate. And then 55-mile-an-hour roads to get to the customer. So this didn't take long. This took, what is that, 23 minutes is all that took for the $13. So I thought, yeah, it's, kind of longer mileage, but I thought this worked for me. $7 and a $6 tip. Okay, and then, here we go with these kind of mediocre Home Depot orders, and like every one of them going like downtown or near there. I don't see them staying in zone. Decline. $15 20-mile Burger King going out to Gahanna? Folks, I'm telling you, in that draw, you see the black line going all the way through Columbus, Ohio. I'm telling you right now, there's other you may not believe me, but there's other Burger Kings between Grove City and Gahanna. I can tell you that right now. So, my gosh, man, decline. Could you imagine? Now, if I would have done something like that, then I probably just would have, for whatever reason, then I just would have stayed out there and finished the dash up in that area. I wouldn't have come back. Jeez. I took an Uber order, first of two that I took today, 1567, 11 items, 8.5 miles, sure, and this is all taking place in zone. There's some of the list. There was two items that had to be substituted. The customer, like, I guess on Uber, the customer has to approve the substitutions. And it only took a few minutes. The customer approved one of my substitutions on those breakfast sandwiches, and wanted something else for the other substitution. So I changed that. But this only took, even with all of that, it only took 12 minutes. Um, and then on my way to the, well, this was right after I finished shopping. I seen a exclusive offer on Deliver That, but only $9 and out of zone. So decline. This $20 one was out of zone. There was one for like I thought I saw a $39, but I think somebody else took it just as I was pulling this screen up. So I didn't get a chance to see where that was or any details about the $39 one. And then I had my dash on a pause, and I still, by the 35-minute mark, I was still 5 minutes away or so on the Uber customer. So I went ahead and ended the dash. I wasn't close enough to the customer to resume the dash. So I ended it. So there you see first dash, 4 deliveries, $43. $43 in an hour and a half. So pretty good. And I should back up a little bit. It was soon after, somewhere around that 8 o'clock range. One of those orders that I dropped off was close to home, so I came back here, and I was here for about a good half hour. And I think that was leading up to getting that the Uber order. So yeah, I came home. I fixed something to eat. Went to the bathroom, got on this computer, and yeah, I was just kind of like sitting here, and for a half hour of downtime. So that's where a lot of that hour and a half is. Okay, and then so delivered the Uber order at 9:11 for the $15. Okay, so not doing, for the most part. I'm kind of done with $3 and $4 orders. That's a decline. $3 Wendy's decline. $3 Wendy's on DoorDash decline. 550 Tim Hortons. Yeah, I declined that just because is going to that like West Zone area. And I might have been trying to get gas here at this point as well. I think I can't remember for sure. Or no, that was later on in the dash. 6 mile or $6 2 mile Taco Bell. And then and then this Uber was coming across at the same time, but I accepted the DoorDash first. So this $17 17 mile Uber was a decline. Had to wait over 10 minutes for that Taco Bell. And then delivered at 9:36. So 20 minutes, $6. So not great on that one, unfortunately. $2 and a $4 tip. Not doing a shopping order for $4. Come on. Okay, subject of the video. So I get, just like with yesterday, I get a Mount Sterling order. And so $22, 20 miles. So I said, well, yeah, let's go ahead and do it. And I only got to shop 4 things at Dollar General. I talked about it before. I'm a little bit more concerned with time than mileage on my car. So I was, I thought I could get down there, do this order, and come back, and the goal was to do this in an hour. $22 for an hour. Okay. So I go down there. I used to this drive through Mount. I used to drive this particular drive through Mount Sterling and on to Washington Courthouse. I used to work for the W-2 in 2003. I worked in Washington Courthouse, and I would do this drive, and I barely recognized it. I mean, because I've only driven it, and that was back in, what did I say, 2003. So, and then since then, I've probably only done the drive a couple times, and don't really recognize it. So I'm going down towards this Dollar General. I go through Mount Sterling and all the houses, and I'm getting past the main like residential area, and about to enter farmland. And I'm supposed to be coming up on the Dollar General, and this is what I see. Check this out, folks. You see straight ahead, that's farmland, okay? And there's a Dollar General sign with a abandoned, rundown, old shed looking structure. I'm like, oh crap, that better not be the Dollar General. And I pull up closer to this turn here right behind the sign. No, the Dollar General was like, you picture me standing there taking that picture. It's to the right. It was before that building, but it's sat back further in. So this old, dilapidated, abandoned building is what I saw first and got scared. That was pretty funny. And let's see. Okay, so here's what time I got there. 10:02. There's my list. Took 5 minutes to shop, and I don't understand this substitute. So, do these two pictures not look exactly the same to you guys? And it says exactly the same thing. Now the only difference is this one I got was marked $2, and here it says $1. But those were the only ones I saw. Maybe I don't know. Would there have been a poof that was like half the size? I don't know. But anyway, delivered at 10:16. I was kind of curious what the breakdown. The base paid a tip. The customer only tipped $4 on this, and $18 from DoorDash. Okay, so next screenshot, and this was news to me today, even though in the last couple weeks I've seen a few of these Mount Sterling orders, but this right here I did not know, folks. Look at this. This must have just happened within the last few weeks, month or so. So this is now my zone. That Mount Sterling, if you can believe this, which is 17 miles away from the Meijer that I mostly shop at, 17 miles, is now included in my zone. I was like, you gotta be kidding me. So now I'm going to see regular Mount Sterling. They should have their own, that should be its own zone. I'm sorry. It should have its own zone with every day like 4 or 5, retiree DoorDash drivers that just sit in their home and with nothing really better to do, and they just do 4 or 5 orders a day or whatever. That's what that area should be. That should not be, they shouldn't have expanded my zone to include that. I couldn't believe it, guys. And so I drop off I take this screenshot, I start heading back, in the direction of Meijer. And as you see here, this whole entire drive back, 17 miles. like I'm so used to my when I go out of zone to all these to downtown Columbus and East Side and West Zone and all this. I'm so used to seeing the out of zone, screen and head back to your zone, the yellow banner. But no, well here it just said it just for just a moment. I think the customer might have lived just outside of that. But soon after I got back onto the main road, and for most of the 17 miles, it was showing me in zone for that whole drive. Okay, thanks a lot. I wonder how long this is going to last for. I mean, fingers crossed that it's just temporary and it gets, here in the next few months or by the end of the year, it gets reconfigured and they take that out of there because, I mean, my gosh. And it got me thinking, could you imagine like dashers in states like maybe like Wyoming or North and South Dakota? Man, they probably have zones that are much, longer than even this right here. Can you imagine? They people in those dashers in those states probably have zones that stretch out like one corner to the other is like 50 miles or some crap. I don't know. But yeah, let's just go ahead and stretch my zone down to Washington Courthouse too. I mean, heck, and then another few months from now, just stretch it down to Cincinnati. I mean, heck, I don't know. A McDonald's order from Grove City going down to Cincinnati, Ohio. There you go. $5. Somebody will take it. Uh, $9 15-mile Sonic. Where's that go? That looks like that must be West Broad. $5 2-mile Chipotle. The problem with this was I got to the Chipotle and they're supposed to open at 10:45. That's unless the hours have changed. But I got there shortly after this. I don't know, 10:50, 10:51, whatever. And there's a few people standing outside the door. The doors were locked. And I was irritated. I wasn't gonna like stand out there with all those different people. I just went back. Like I said, I didn't feel good. I just went back to my car and took a waking nap for like 4 or 5 minutes, and then I kind of like opened my car door and like looked back, and those people were gone. So I figured the doors were unlocked and I went in. And even when I went inside, I still had to wait. It was about 2 or 3 minutes once I got in there. So delivered at 11:07, 19 minutes for the $5. If it wasn't for all that extracurricular stuff at the beginning, I could have had this done in 15 minutes, but Here we go, Dick's Sporting Goods, 1375, 13 miles. No thanks. Look at this. Another Mount Sterling, but on Uber. So Mount Sterling is in my zone on, well, that's Uber doesn't have zones, but yeah, $8, 23 miles. No thanks. And I went ahead and took this one, $9, 5 miles, McDonald's. I'm pretty much right near the McDonald's, as you can tell there. So let's go ahead and do it. And this took me 16 minutes for $9. Absolutely. So that was a good one. 11:27. Wait about 5 minutes. Not doing this. 1350, 13 mile. That's 2 orders. Upside down Starbucks, decline. Got an Uber coming in for, well, this is something else. Look at this. $8 for 30 miles. No thanks. I usually don't take a picture of the non-exclusive ones, but I had to screenshot that one. Okay, what's this Burger King here coming in? 1125, 6 miles. So yeah, went ahead and took that, even though it's going south. And what is 23 minutes for 11 bucks? Heck yeah, $9 tip. Appreciate it very much. Uh, no, 1450. Two orders going out to South High area. Not interested. $10, 13 miles. Same thing here. South High, South Columbus. No, not for $10. Um, this looks kind of raunchy, but actually, this is dropping off. I mentioned the gas station earlier. It was after this order that I went. So this a little bit upside down by 2 miles, but it's dropping off at near a gas station I like to go to. So that's why I took this. And so this took 32 minutes for 1050. Yeah, it is what it is. Not the end of the war. It's not a good order, but not really that bad. $4 and a 650 tip. Okay. And then the couple of these might have been as I was getting close to the gas station. $7 Dollar General, no thanks. I got a kick out of this one. Look at this right here, folks. $16.50. 50 items from Dollar General. Are you kidding me? I was on the phone with my wife. She said, "Well, what were the items?" And I said, "Well, I'm driving, so I just had a chance to kind of like glance at it, and I'm just looking to see. I mean, if it was 10 things to shop for, and 50 total units, then well, maybe if it was little stuff." But I clicked on the arrow there and I scrolled and scrolled and scrolled and scrolled. So it was more than 10 things to shop for. Decline. Not even a minute later, $6 4 mile sheets. No, I think I'll stick with getting my gas. And then I'm still sitting at the gas station. I get a Mi Tradition order. First time I've gotten this. I think I mentioned this restaurant in a previous video, but I'm right next door to it. The gas station's right next door to it. So you're talking $6, 6 miles, but it's all 6 miles is driving away from where I'm at. And I don't even know like where this is. I don't know, and I don't think I want to know where that is. So decline. Um, and I'm getting kind of tired at this point. After the gas station, I was just gonna head home unless I got an order, and I was close enough to goal that So I'm starting to head home, but I get this $6 hidden tip Taco Bell. Yeah, let's quickly turn around in the UDF and head back the other way. Yeah, I'll go ahead and do this. Um, I waited past 10 minutes on this. I must have counted. I went in there. They took my customer's name pretty much just within 20 seconds of me walking in there. They asked who I was there for. And then after that, I think I counted it's not like there wasn't any kind of line at the drive-through when I first pulled in, or maybe one or two cars that I couldn't see. But it's not like there was some backed up drive-through line when I got there. And I gave my customer's name, and they served like 7 straight drive-through orders before I got my order. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. I don't get it. I don't get that. Why delivery orders. Some of these restaurants have to take a back seat to the foot traffic and drive-through traffic. I don't understand that. You know, whichever order you get, you should do them in sequence, as far as I'm concerned. But and even after like it was probably like the fourth drive-through, the one another worker asked me, the one that was actually fixing the food, asked who I was there for, and I told him. I said, and I'm thinking to myself, oh, he's going to make mine next. Nope. No, another 2 or 3 drive-through orders go out, and then I get mine. But I was okay waiting a little bit past the 10 minutes. It was my last order. Now, I was prepared to wait. Since it was a hidden tip, I was going to wait like 12 or 13 minutes, if I had to. Um, and delivered that at 106. The hidden tip was only $1. So $2 and $5 from the customer. And that was it, folks. Logged off at 107. So Dash number 2, 6 deliveries, $61 in 2.5 hours. So the grand totals was the 2 dashes plus the 2 Uber deliveries, all total 12 deliveries, $130, 26 cents, and drove 131 miles. So it was almost, right on goal as far as mileage. So, and a lot of that, of course, was the Mount Sterling. Otherwise I would have beat goal if it wasn't for that. But, yesterday I didn't make goal on mileage. Today I was right at goal. Usually I beat it. It's significantly by 50, 60 miles, but not yesterday or today. So hopefully I want to get back on track, hopefully on mileage tomorrow. So we'll see. And I forgot to mention in yesterday's video that yesterday with those deliveries, that put me right exactly at 4,500 lifetime deliveries with DoorDash. So, and then the 10 deliveries today. So what is that? So I'm about like 490 now away from 5,000, that magical 5,000 benchmark delivery mark. And well, I'll profile whatever like the order is, that my 5,000th order. I'll take a selfie with that order. I'll highlight that order, everything. I didn't do it for numbers 3,000 and 4,000, but I 1,000 was the only like exotic milestone delivered. That was a car tire. So that was kind of cool. My 1,000 to 2,000 was just like some, $5 Wendy's order or some, the 2,000, there wasn't anything exciting about it. And then, so we'll see what the 5,000th is. Anyway, I'll stop rambling here and babbling. So that's it for today's Dash, guys. Thanks so much for watching. As always, be sure to drive safe out there, and we'll catch you at the next video. Thanks again.